The Gold Saucer date scenes, did they deliver? Are any of these canon, or is it just a figment of our imagination? Join me in today's video where I will be ranking the Gold Saucer date scenes. What am I getting myself into? I do not know, but with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with timestamps in the description down below, so if there's a certain section of the video you want to skip to, feel free, whatever floats your boat. All I ask is for you to support the channel and hit the thumbs up button. Now before we start ranking these, let me make something clear. These are my opinions. You are welcome to your opinions in the comment section down below. Let's just remember that. I like to create discussion, but I don't want to create any animosity, and I think covering this subject I might be, but we'll see how things go. Also, I truly believe that none of these date scenes are canon to the story. I think they are truly just for us, the fans, for investing in this relationship system that they introduced, because us as the player chose how to respond to certain characters. Obviously, we will be gunning for the character that we want to have the date with, and we were rewarded with that. I think what it does do though, and I think is canon, is the pieces of emotion from Cloud. Just little snippets of the character giving us more of Cloud and who he truly is, because as we all know in Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, that guy gets pretty damn broken inside of here. So having these pieces, these layers, and just a little peek behind the curtain is nice. I just think this all is just for us, the player, and is not canon to the story. So let's dive in. Each date scene bar one has two versions, and when I say two versions, simply an extended version, which is classed as the intimate date scene. Essentially, the more you invested in the relationship, the more you get back, and it's simply just an extended scene, and I think these are the layers of Cloud that we get. So let's start off, and only because one is at the bottom of my list doesn't mean it is horrible. It didn't hit as much as it did for others. So the first one is Barret. Now Barret's date scene is all centered around getting some space and just chilling out, getting away from the noise. And we have a bit of a peek behind the curtain with how his relationship, him and Myrna, all began. And we have that relationship that Cloud and Barret have had since Remake, and just the back and forth banter between them. The only reason this is at the bottom for me is because later in the game, the Temple of the Ancients, we have the trials, and I really think Barret's scene in the Temple of the Ancients shines through much more than that and overshadows this completely. But for the intimate section, Barret truly wants to know who Cloud is into, and we think we know who we're referring to in particular with Barret. I think it's Cloud and Tifa, but he's trying to get something out of Cloud and he just does not, and Cloud is just Cloud in this situation. So let's move on to the next one, and the next one for me is Aerith. I'm sure this is probably going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers, but I think Aerith's is just true to the point, true to Cloud, and we just get her searching for the real him. Not much has changed since the original. She's just trying to get more of Cloud. We just dive in just a little bit deeper. But I don't think, for me, really, we got much out of the date scene. And when it comes to the intimate section of the date, we just kind of get a bit of hand holding and Cloud being there for Aerith, comforting her as we obviously go towards the end of Rebirth. The next one on my list is the group of Caitlyn, Sid, and Vincent, and man, this is hilarious. I did not get this naturally. I don't know how you get this naturally, and I was not disappointed. The awkwardness, you could slice it with a butter knife quite easily, but we just get an insight of just of Vincent and Sid here because they are new characters. We're going to see more about them in the next game, but just having just a little bit of a peek here was very rewarding. I don't think there was an intimate scene for this version in particular, but just Kate Smith wanting to get off because he just wanted the boys to have some fun here, and they just simply could not enjoy the sights. It was really funny, and that's why it just ranks that little bit higher than the others for me. Now, next on my list is Red 13. I really enjoyed Red 13's because we got an answer for a question that we had been asking since Remake. What happened when Aerith touched him in the Shinra building? We got that answer, and they could see the future, and that interweaves quite interestingly into the story. It gives a bit more context of what's happening with the white materia and why it's empty and what the Whisperers are doing. Just overall gave us some nice context, and I think story-wise, Red 13's is the most important date scene of them all. But again, any of these are canon, though I think bits and pieces of them definitely give the character of Cloud a bit of a boost and answers a few questions for us fans. It's for us, and it's for Cloud. But I really like Red 13's. I think I was in the same boat as a lot of people, just very taken off guard with the change in Red 13, with him having the younger voice. But having this date scene and understanding Red 13 just a little bit more, I really liked it. And in the intimate scene, we get a nice handshake between Cloud and Red 13 with a little off-cuff comment from Cloud because of something that was talked about earlier in the game, and just kind of bringing it full circle quite nicely. So coming in second for me personally for the date scenes for the Gold Saucer is Tifa. Now, I am someone that believes that Cloud and Tifa are the couple of Final Fantasy VII, but that's just a story for another time. I don't need to defend my thoughts because you're entitled to yours, I'm entitled to mine. Let's just leave it like that. You're not going to convince me otherwise, and I'm not going to convince you otherwise, so I don't need all of the fuss in between. But I truly believe that they are the couple of Final Fantasy VII, and just seeing this was really nice. Just them trying to talk about each other, reflect on the childhood, and just enhance that relationship a little bit more. Not only that, just tap into Cloud a little bit more and give us more Cloud. Now, the intimate scene definitely went off the rails with this one, with a massive hug and a kiss. I really don't know what to say about that. I guess there you go. For the fans, you went through the effort of trying to get all the good responses for Tifa, so here you go. That's for you. But for me, again, I like Cloud and Tifa as the two as they are, and I was rewarded for that in this date scene. So number one, my number one Gold Saucer date scene is Yuffie. I really am a fan of the character development we got of Yuffie in this game. It surprised me considerably because I didn't know I was going to be walking away from this game being a massive fan of Yuffie. And this just hit all nails on the head for me in the Gold Saucer scene, because we get a bit more of Yuffie. She goes and reflects on a mission we had in Crisis Core, a series of missions in Crisis Core where she was toying with Zack in the treasure hunter kind of arc of the missions, and just how that was kind of the first male that she looked up to and admired. And I really liked the layers that was brought here. Brought us so much to Yuffie. And as for Cloud, well, in that just normal standard scene, we got a bit more of the same that we have done when it's been talked about Zack, and it's just like, oh, just sod him, leave him alone, don't forget about him, because he did that with like Aerith and Gongaga as well. But I think with the intimate scene, it was really nice to see that child-like nature of Cloud and how he can play along quite nicely because of the ha that Yuffie brings to the table. He interacted, and it was just very wholesome, and I really enjoyed that Gold Saucer date scene. And there we have it, my ranking of the Gold Saucer date scenes. Feel free to talk about it in the comment section down below. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions and what ultimately ranked the best for you. Let's keep it nice and easy. I know diving into some of these relationships are going to be quite controversial here and there, and I don't mind hearing your passion, but listen to everybody else's as well. Thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more Final Fantasy content. Get involved in the comment section below, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.